So I just got done watching the Pinocchio live action movie, and to be honest, did I like it? Likeness has its benefits. Hey guys, Super Saiyan 30 here, giving you guys a movie review on the channel. Like I told you guys, I'm a man of my word. There's going to be videos that's going to be uploaded with gaming rants, movie rants, reviews, etc. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as I promised you all. I've been a man of my word. But let's get to the topic at hand. So today we are going to be discussing about the Pinocchio live action movie that released not so long ago. The movie is an exclusive on Disney Plus, and I think it is most likely not going to be in theaters for quite some time due to the pandemic of the COVID-19. But I think COVID-19 is starting to ease up and might kind of come to an end because haven't been seeing many cases lately. But let's get to the topic at hand. So if you guys are a fan of the original Pinocchio animated movie way back in the early 1990s, Disney decided that since this movie was such a great success of an animational movie, they thought it was okay to make a live action, same they did for the Lion King. And the Lion King live action, in my opinion, kind of flopped. That shit was ass. And Lord help me, when I saw the Aladdin remake, I didn't even want to even describe it in words. Because when it comes to live action movies that Disney always trying to reimagine and recreate historical beautiful moments, that shit doesn't go as planned as they think it does, because sometimes it could go either way. Either it could go perfectly well or it could be absolutely dog shit. The Lion King remake, they did rephrase the roles of some actors and they replaced a few, and they kind of made some songs sound good and they kind of fucked up some songs. With the Pinocchio remake, they just nerfed a lot of shit but still was able to keep that darkish tone they had in the original animated movie. So, spoiler alert. So, let's get to the topic at hand. The movie begins with the classical Wish Upon a Star sung by great Jiminy Cricket. In the animated movie, they didn't really do that. They decided to, nerf it a little bit and say, you know what, let's just make Jiminy Cricket just narrate the entire thing and etc. So in the live action remake, we did not get no beautiful song sung by Jiminy Cricket. We just got him talking to himself in the third person and trying to be a comic relief character instead of that actual, a conscience like he was supposed to be. And this was kind of disappointing because I always wanted to hear him sing, because he had a really good singing voice in the animated movie. So he tells himself that he found himself in Geppetto's workshop, and Geppetto was played by the legendary actor himself, Tom Hanks, aka the guy who played as Forrest Gump, and one of my favorite roles that he played in as Woody from the Toy Story saga. And he did a really good persuading, and he nailed the character as Geppetto, and I loved it every step of the way. I loved it. He was on par with that character, and I loved how Tom Hanks, reacted and acted that character out. Yeah, I loved it. It was beautiful. So back to the topic at hand. So basically he goes into Geppetto's workshop. Geppetto is working on Pinocchio, and he just gets off track a little bit. The CGI for both Figaro and Cleo was really, really, really good. I'm not going to lie. It was perfect. I liked it, and they did good. But the design of Pinocchio looked kind of a little dullish and looked too real. And the casting was kind of caught me off guard. The blue fairy I really hate playing the racist card because this shit is not in my nature to do that. But the blue fairy in the original movie, the animated movie, she was white. The one that we got is black and looked like she doesn't have any any hair. I was confused. But hey, she did a really good job portraying as the Blue Fairy. Her singing was really good, but they got a lot of shit that they kind of cut out. Like, you know that song, Jiminy Cricket song, There'll Always Be a Conscience in Your Guide? They didn't have that. They didn't even have that, so basically they just skipped a lot of shit in the movie. But they did show some really cool scenes, like how Geppetto and Pinocchio was able to form a bond, and he was able to try to be and act normally like a real boy. It was really cute and heartwarming because Geppetto always wanted a wooden boy that he have life and feels have emotions, like knowing he's sad or happy or he's in pain or he's angry. Geppetto was always there every step of the way to teach Pinocchio the acts of right and wrong as his father. But Jiminy Cricket in this one decided, like, man, I ain't got no time to be no conscience for this kid. But in the animated movie, he was able to do so. And not only that, I remember Jiminy Cricket had a crush on the Blue Fairy because he was like, oh my goodness, the Blue Fairy is so beautiful, I got a crush on her. In the live action, he's like, he didn't have no kind of remorse towards her whatsoever. So basically, we get into another scene with him and him going to school, and it was really cute. And of course, one of my favorite scenes is Austin John and the cat. I forgot who his name is, Droopy, I don't know. And that good old song, hi diddly, the life is like for me. Oh man, they got the singing right and everything. The voice acting was really spot on for Honest John. The other character, his sidekick, he didn't have a voice because he was a mute. In the original Pinocchio movie, and basically in concept, they was going to give him a voice, but they chose not to. They chose to make him a mute. So the acting was good. Pinocchio had lost his way. He didn't want to, become a school. He didn't want to go to school. He wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be with the amazing Stromboni and the blah blah blah. But there were some scenes that was added to make the movie feel more tension, more lively, more like he went to school. Then he got put out by an asshole teacher, saying that this is a school for real boys, not wooden puppets. And that was a huge punch in the face of discrimination, because it doesn't matter what you are or where you came from, you can still have a chance to have an education. Doesn't matter where you're from or where you go, like anything. Pinocchio, it was felt like he was different, and Honest John was like, you see, they didn't care about you. But like, I need to go to school. It's like, yeah, you went to school, and guess what happened? They didn't want you. So if you go with the actor's life, you'll be bigger and better than all those kids. So he did so, and by majority of the movie, he basically went on his way to become an actor. Got caught by Stromboni. Stromboni locked him up and said if he tried to behave or try to ruin him, he will turn him into firewood. And then he met this sweet, adorable character, this girl. I don't remember her name. This has been a while since I saw the movie, but it was really adorable. She was basically Pinocchio's little friend, but I think Pinocchio really liked the puppet more than than her, than actual puppeteer. And the puppeteer was really just spot out helpful for Pinocchio. But the only thing that kind of got me kind of weirded out, because this character never showed up in the actual animated movie. Like in the actual animated movie, she never really popped up. Like it never popped up. So she was just bizarre. She was just a bizarre character, but it was also a little new and cute because it was something a little fresh, make the story a little more stand out and give it a little more lively detail. But also, I forgot what they was. Sabina and Fabina. So that's what it is. And she's basically, I think she has problem with her legs. I forgot what it was called. But she was very kind and helpful and nice to Pinocchio in every aspect of the way. And I liked her character. It was well written. She's a sweetheart, and her puppeteer really likes Pinocchio. And she was able to help Pinocchio escape In the actual animated movie, the blue fairy came to their rescue, and Pinocchio told his signature iconic moment, his lying, that made his nose grow big a lot. And the animation detailed how he escaped was kind of disappointing. And when he returned home, and blah blah blah, and then Honest Island, or Honest Pleasure Island. Now let me get to that scene. They managed to keep the dark tone in the Pleasure Island scene really decently, but there was some stuff they took it out, like the one scene where Jiminy Cricket finds Pinocchio smoking, drinking root beer. Well, basically they were just drinking beer in general, I think. Maybe if I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section below. They kind of nerfed the part where he said, "Go on, laugh, make a jackass out of yourself. I am through. This is the end, Pinocchio." And I actually liked that scene because it was really, really funny. And not only that, it was just showed that Jiminy Cricket has had enough trying to help Pinocchio when Pinocchio is not, receiving the help. Like Jiminy was actually trying to help him every step of the way. But in this version, a live action movie, Jiminy was being kind of lazy as a conscience. Like he was overslept due to Pinocchio going to school. In the animated movie, he was still able to catch up to Pinocchio and trying to help him. In the live action, they just made Jiminy Cricket look like a damsel in distress and like an easy target to be defeated. In the animated movie, he was actually strong and strong enough to actually overcome obstacles, even though he is not that very big or very strong. He was just showed that he has some cleverness in him. But they made Jiminy in the live action look like a huge disappointment. So they did keep the dark themes from the dark themes in Pleasure Island, but the thing that was just a little more kind of made it, nerf it so that way it wouldn't be too scary. They made sure that they nerfed the cigar smoking, they nerfed the beer, they turned it to root beer. The pool scene was still iconically scary, and yeah. But they still made the part, they still kept the part where it's like, "What do you think I look like, a jackass?" They kept that part. One thing that I found disappointing is the fact that when, he met Sabina again, he started to be truthful, brave, and unselfish. Well, basically he's been brave, or whatever his characteristic that he showed in order to become a real boy. His ears and his tail disappeared. Throughout the entirety of the animated movie, his tail and his ears did not disappear. It stayed exactly the same until, the end of the movie. He changed it to a real boy. So he was looking for, his father. And basically there were more characters that never really became, or actually wasn't there in the beginning of the movie, and therefore. So basically they never had a part in the first place. So another bird, I forgot the seagull's name, but they were helping Pinocchio and Jiminy get to Geppetto. And in the actuality, in the animated movie, Pinocchio tied a rock to his tail and dove completely underwater alongside with Jiminy to find his father Geppetto. And Geppetto was inside the mouth of Monstro. So due to them, after escaping Pleasure Island in the clutches of the Coachman and those other black thingies that look like buff steroid like Heartless, and they decided to go save and see his father Geppetto. So they successfully reunited with Geppetto. All of a sudden they get eaten by Monstro. In the original, Geppetto was already inside Monstro from the very beginning. So since they're inside of Monstro, Pinocchio came up with an idea with his cleverness. They're going to make Monstro sneeze. And people are saying that Monstro was a villain. He wasn't really a villain from the beginning. He was just a destructive force of nature. It was in his nature to become a complete monster and be a complete, abomination. That is his nature. He's an animal. Every animal has a killer instinct. He's not a villain. It's in his nature. So due to the scene, they escape from Monstro, they're running away from him, and the remake of the scene, Geppetto dies and Pinocchio is crying and singing "When You Wish Upon a Star," humming it, and his tear brought Geppetto back to life. Because they nerfed the entirety anatomy that Pinocchio was supposed to, die due to he's sacrificing his life to save both Jiminy, his father, Cleo, and Figaro. But instead they had Geppetto die, which was kind of stupid because he kind of destroyed the entire anatomy of Pinocchio being brave, truthful, and unselfish. They just completely nerfed it, and the ending was also really disappointing because they said, did he ever become a real boy, or did he just magically turn into one? In the animated movie, when Pinocchio died and everyone was grieving alongside with Jiminy Cricket, the blue fairy shined the light on him and said, you proved yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish, and now you could be a real boy, transforming Pinocchio into the real boy that he desired to be by showing his three characteristics in its journey. And they lived happily ever after. Geppetto got his son back. Everything was perfectly went well. And not only that, Jiminy Cricket earned himself a badge to prove that he is a truthful and outstanding conscience. And by the end of the movie, it didn't really show any of that in the live action, and it was really disappointing. I I know they were trying to nerf a lot of things due to the new age, and some people were going to be either offended by the dark themes, or they were probably some parents were probably going to rant about it, about Disney. But you know damn well Disney is going to do anything for the sake of money, and even if they have to ruin iconic, beautiful classics such as Pinocchio, the live action. It did good, but it didn't do good enough because there was a lot of stuff that they half-assed did. Anyways, in general, the movie was really bad in my opinion. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like. Comment on what you think about it. If you guys like the remake, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys always want to stay updated with the channel, always keep that subscribe button and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with the same universe 24/7, 365. Until next time, guys, as Super Saiyan 30 always say, I will see you guys on the battlefield. See you guys later.